Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's intro, I apologize if I sound upset and that it's long. This is just important. On the channel, it's not often I talk personal like this, and my goal is to always help others, but I kind of have to address situation when it's going to impact the content and channel. My wife was admitted to the ER this week, and I'm not going to go into details. Understand everyone is physically okay, everyone is going to be okay, and I haven't been holding up 100%, but I promise everything is going to be okay. I'm taking time off of my job also to figure things out. This is a moment for me because I haven't had a moment for me. And this is just a way of me decompressing with you guys. I know most won't understand. They'll think I'm crazy. I know most won't understand, but Apex and content is that outlet for me. And I hope all of you guys find an outlet similar. Maybe that's the video content. This was pre-recorded at a separate time, so when I'm in-game, I know it's going to be a mood shift, and I know there's a lot of craziness going on. I know a hurricane is impacting a lot. I hope everyone's safe. The rest of the video is going to be all the best vibes I can muster, and I'm really sorry if the vibe is off. I won't be uploading for a little bit, but I promise you, and I promise I'm going to do my best to get back into a flow for you guys, family, everything, and I won't let you guys down. Trust me, everything is going to be okay, but it is going to impact the channel, so that's why I had to make this statement at the start. Would mean the world if you left likes, watch the content while I'm away. I don't want the channel to necessarily fizzle out. Everyone, most of all, be kind to each other, yourselves, cherish each day, because every day matters. Enjoy the latest episode, and I'll see you guys in the comment section. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So let's get into it. This is a new episode of Spectating. We're gonna queue up, and I got a lot of comments still. I think it's funny. You guys are always great memeing in this section. Everyone knows what the series is about. The goal of the series is that we're going to see how the lobby plays out from the start to finish. Once we get eliminated, we're going to spectate. We're going to talk about things we did wrong, what our teammates did wrong, how other teams can improve, how the map is flowing. Specifically, this is a very important episode because we get to see how the map flows on Storm Point with the rank changes, specifically with the zone, and we get to see just pretty much how everything plays out. I'm going to try Watson again. The other spectating series is already uploaded. You can see that one with Vantage. We absolutely popped off on that one. I'm going to go back to Watson for this one because the goal is that we're going to pretty much follow our teammates and see how they play. And because I haven't had any real time to play recently at all, literally, this is going to be my first time playing in a hot minute. I miss Apex, and this is going to be my moment just to kind of share with you guys, decompress, and then we'll hop into it. Now, just some things that we're going to keep a real close eye on is that we're Platinum 2, meaning this account was Masters. So it has been a couple days since the rank split, so I assume a lot of skilled players have essentially moved up, and we're going to see how all of that plays out. So I'm going to go to jump cut here, and we're going to go right to the start of the round. I'll try to minimize all jump cuts, but I figured this was really important just to provide context and set up the video. All right, looking at the start of our lobby, it's going to be probably pretty sweaty. So this is going to be a little difficult. I'm going to pass it to them and let my teammates make the decision. Now, I'm a defensive legend, so this is opposite from the last episode I did. The biggest important thing is that you'll notice I changed a lot of things. Little small things to kind of change up the flow and how we play and what we do. I don't think that these two individuals are playing together. All of you guys always ask, what do I do if a teammate pushes far ahead? What do I do if you can tell we lose a fight? Get placement points, especially if you're early on between bronze all the way up until even like gold. Placement is very important. So it looks like we're going to drop hot potentially here. Actually, it might be a little safe. So we got two people who were diamond last season. This account has been masters, and you can see I didn't show it before, but they were also masters. So you want to be very, very fast with your looting pattern. That's always my biggest tip. First, right off the rip. I always remind, I feel like everyone kind of looks at this and always remembers. It's just the best reminder. You got to be very comfortable with the guns that you have right off the rip. I haven't played in a hot minute, and I have to change one little keybind. There we go. Always like to spin the heirloom. Essentially, I'm pretty much ready to fight. This helps when you're this confident with your loadout. You know, we'll even switch to this for the memes. The memes? But always, you know, what you want to do is be on the lookout for your teammates, climb up to height, look at positioning. You don't necessarily need all the loot in the world, especially if you're teammates and you're trying to get a feel for it. Let's say you don't have a mic, so that we know that there's a team overlocated that way. It's good to ping information ahead of time if you got no comms with them. These guys don't look like they necessarily have mics, and that's perfectly fine. We don't have to necessarily fight this. We can always rotate. They're taking shots at me. That's okay. And we'll just hold for a second. Now, I generally am pretty good with being on lower resources, so I'll kind of like take my time. So I got the crack. That's going to really deter them. Any sort of sniper, any sort of poke is really, really good to run. When I'm Watson, I overly poke and I'm super aggressive, partly because I'm that confident and that I have the passive shield healing. And now I have my teammates here. What we need to do, the zone, we have the zone. Now, another tip when you ask, okay, what do you need to do to rotate? If we get some good damage here, we can push this, or if they're getting into a fight. Right now, there's still a lot of teams left, and there's another team right there. I'll ping that for them so they're aware. If you've got no microphone, worst case scenario, these guys are most likely, yeah, these guys are going to push. They're gonna push right here. Looks like I can't tell if they're baiting it or not. So this is going to pull more towards the center of the map, either the south side or around this area, just from the looks of it. And you want to be very aware of where that's going to pull. And how do you guess that is based on the way the zone is pulling, the stuff that's in the way. Just a good way to kind of guess it. It looks like they're trying to bait this, and they're crafting. That's what it is. I thought they were hitting the thing, so that's my fault. We have a scan legend, so ping it for them so they can hit that. And they should, hopefully. What I'll do is I'll put preemptively some fences here as well. And just kind of wait. This is a hard part about teammates that don't want to move, and it's okay if they don't, per se, because, I mean, we're just kind of in a holding pattern anyway. So they're together. I'm going to go loot right now, unless they put up a zip line. I'm not really sure what the zip line is for. I do need to heal up. I want to kind of passive heal it. How are you guys enjoying Stormpoint so far? Just a question. How was the ranked experience? I guess I should have body block from this. Another good tip, body block for your teammates, or distract them. I mean, they're shooting at me like maniacs. Well, you need to rotate. Let's just go to let's see. Hold on one second. Oh, let's see here. This is probably gonna pull like right around there. Let's go loot. I don't have a whole lot of cells. Let's try to go loot. Right now, there's still 16 squads. We've seen a couple of teams fight. Not the most in the world. Not the most amount of resources. Hopefully, we'll be okay. It's gonna pull mostly around this side, and then having that information is really important because we know where two teams are at the moment, and we haven't even looted this. So you want to look out for your team, but then you also want to be sure that you're looting for yourself. Right now I've been, I guess you can say, pretty selfless, and now I'm really down bad essentially, which isn't good for the team either. If I'm kind of struggling, you know, we all kind of struggle at some point, right? And I'll be sure to catch up. Now, if you tend to fall behind, another tip is make sure you're slide jumping appropriately and using geometry and stuff like movement to keep up, especially if you're a defensive legend. All of those things really help, and a lot of people ask, is movement necessary? I find it necessary if you are a defensive legend and you're trying to keep pace with your teammates. I really find this probably one of the best tips that I can provide and give to others. Let's see if they'll give me shields. Yeah, that guy at least has a little bit of movement. But this is good. Honestly, this is a good spot to hold to gate. So there's different ways that you can play a lot of these areas, especially with Stormpoint. When you don't really want to ever be caught out in rotation, okay? You always want to have some sort of high ground, some sort of positioning, and you want to hold that positioning. A lot of mistakes I see, let's say they're holding up inside here, and you see a lot of, I see a lot of Watsons do that, and there's something wrong with that. Like, you'll hold, but you want to essentially create different layers of defense. You want to be out on the outside, and you want to hold the height. So those things are very, very important so you can succeed. If you just kind of hunker down, all they're going to do is breach the building and shove you because it showcases that you're not confident. So I always make sure that I'm on height, and that I'm setting up fences, but I'm setting them up in a way where it's like a layer of defense. And that layer of defense is really, really huge in terms of getting you to pretty much succeed or not. There's a team rotating that way. I can't really ping it effectively, so I'm just going to chill for just a moment. Drop one of those. Yeah, we're good. This isn't a bad spot to gate, though. I'm just going to hit these extra bins. I see I'm within distance, so I'm not too worried right now. And this is actually playing out pretty slow. Are you guys finding this? I kind of thought that this spot would be a lot hotter. And the 2 teams I shot, I know I cracked one. Okay, there's 2 downsides of doing damage. This is another really good tip. If you do a lot of damage, anticipate that a lot of people are going to run away because they got cracked. So that's really, really important. If you tend to miss a lot, it's kind of like a high IQ bait, that if you just kind of miss or bait them, like, oh, we got to push this, and you can bait them into like pushing in, essentially. We really need to win a fight. Our resources are pretty sparse, but we just have to gate. It's possible, and another tip that I should have done at the start here is to really look at where the ship was going to see where people are dropping. Right now, I feel like I'm kind of driving in the dark because I didn't really look. I was talking about other things at the start, so that's my bad. And another tip, a question that a lot of people are asking is, what do I do, or why do you miss loot? Well, your idea is to loot as fast as possible, and you want to be in and out. You don't necessarily want to be slowed down just for one piece of loot when you should be confident enough to be able to win that fight. If you're not, then I really always suggest going into the test range to build that confidence that you're looking for. So that team decided to move up there. I really think it's going to pull towards this spot. This is where I've seen it pull a lot. And we may end up in a round here where, I mean, we're minus 42. This isn't bad. We're garnering points slowly but surely. You know, like I said, if you were bronze all the way up until, let's say, gold, then you really should just kind of chill and vibe. And this is probably the worst part about ranked at times. You have zone placement, you have knowledge, your teammates don't move, and if they don't move, you can't get them to budge. It's like pushing an immovable object. It's just not going to be doable. And if you run forward and then you get eliminated by yourself, the only person you can get mad about is really yourself, because it's like, well, I knew my teammates weren't necessarily confident, and Apex is a really team-based game. Okay, so we got a team. Now, if I get a crack, now here's a way to motivate your teammates. If you get some good damage in, they're fighting over there. We might be able to get involved to see if I can get them to move. This isn't a bad play. This isn't a good play because the zone is about to close. But we might be able to take a peek. Now let's see if he's moving. You got to kind of wait for your teammate so you don't get too far ahead. But if we move, you see how like all it takes is for one person to kind of like start the flow. And I've never played with these guys, but we want KP. And what's the worst thing that can happen right now? Get eliminated, go back to the lobby? Like, honestly, come on. Like, it's not that bad. It could be way worse, right? Thought I heard something. It could be hearing prowlers. Yeah, I'm going crazy. I'm hearing prowlers. I'm gonna grab. I know I'm dropping a nade, but I don't have any cells, and right now I'm just being more worried about my cells. Let's see here. Right here. All right, that's some good damage. We should actually act upon this because they're probably really in it. Remember, slide jump, just keep moving forward, use your positioning. If you notice somebody's overextending, your teammate goes down, do not overextend with your teammate unless you can capitalize on something. So the Pathfinder overextended here, but I'm going to be here to defend him. Oh, he already knocked two. So I'll push this other one. And just shove. You see I'm taking an off angle here, even if I get shot. Oh, there he is. All dead. All right, well, we got a free KP. The Pathfinder got somebody, and now it's up to somebody to hold. And look, we're inside zone still. So I'm just going to watch our backs here. Probably put some preemptive fences just for the lulz and for the memes. When you loot, right now, this is another tip for looting the box. I know I'm looking for armor, I'm looking for attachments, I'm looking for cells. So I got my armor, got my attachments, and now I'm holding again. You see how fast that was? That is how fast your looting should always be. Even if you lose some stuff in the mix of that, right? Now I'm in a way better position than I was. Okay, I'm going to look for just a few more cells because I'm running that armor. I'm going to ping this for my teammate. I'm going to switch this to a 1x because I'm more confident. Check your angles. Where most likely our teammate's going to appear? They could appear on the left, they can appear on the right. Pull up the box, let's take a look. Ping this again for teammates. I'm going to look, I'm going to drop these two. I'm going to pick up some extra cells because I'm stingy. And pick up a little heavy because I need it, and then we're rotating. Let's go. But I did ping those things. I should have looked for their armors, but I'm just giving an example of how fast and efficient you should be. I was in and out of those boxes. I didn't waste time. I have my cells. I have gold. Realistically, I can give the gold to our entry fragger, but honestly, the way I was pushing there, I was kind of the entry fragger. And then just watch your teammates. Spectate. Watch, just see what they're doing, you know? Spectating series. Whether you're watching your teammates or you're watching the lobby, if we get eliminated, maybe next round we'll get eliminated. I don't know why I sound like I'm from Jersey. Do Jersey people sound like? I don't know where I'm going with this, but you get what I'm saying, right? You get where I'm going for here? It's kind of the flow. Now, remember how I said I think it was going to pull this way? Let's see. What I'm going to do is put some fences. You know what surprised me? Even how many pros get intimidated by fences. It really, like, blows my mind. Yeah, you see how I was pulling exactly where I said? They're going to the choke. I fell behind, which isn't good. And I could have taken the zip, but I wasn't paying attention. So try to pay attention to your teammates. They kind of have like a bit of a flow. Maybe it just so happens they were following each other, but one of them's waiting. The Pathfinder seems to one that's overextending. So don't tend to drop on low ground like the Pathfinder did. If that Pathfinder got dropped, then it probably would have given them some, the enemy team some confidence. I need one more fence, because if I just do this, I'm going to show you with the fence. Look, they could just go underneath. It's not a good fence, but I'll leave it. I'm just giving you an example in terms of you are Watson players. And I probably should just grab that. So this is actually a pretty decent push that they're doing. Now, there's two things. If somebody overextends and one is holding, then you want to hold. You want to make sure not to make mistakes. So they're taking height. I'm going to take the low ground because I don't have time, because I need to keep up, because I'm Watson. They're pretty in this. So if you get damage and you get a crack, like, okay, ready? Okay, that's a bit of damage. That's not bad. Charge rifle Charlie here. Man, this is the ultimate taboo, right? I don't know why I've been running this thing so much. I haven't been playing so much, so cut me some slack, you know? Come on. Back up. Put this as a defensive measure. He overextended. I'm going to cover for him. Not bad, but the spray was a little wonky. See how I created this back for us? Realistically, we need to rotate because this fight isn't necessarily a good one anymore. Cracked one. One on the right is low. Oh, he got a crack already. Okay, this is good. He's going to bubble for that guy. I'm gonna shove the bubble. I'm gonna shove the bubble. He went in too. There it is. Very nice. And go immediately for the res. One person should drop armor. That would be the Octane. I don't think he's gonna drop armor from him. Oh gosh, that's not good. Take out the ult if we can. I mean, it was the best we could. It was fast. It was fast. The Pathfinder went down, but you know that's expected on the push. The Octane needed to drop armor. Maybe I could have done that as well. It was a greedy push. Once the fight we could tell was over, but we got the knock, we just kind of went for it. I mean, we did the best we could. I don't think that was bad. And don't ever worry about your damage, your effective damage that you're doing, because, I mean, the damage output that you had is realistically what needs to happen. So the zone is going to pull towards the south. They have really great armors. It looks like they've been kind of pushing for all. What ranks for these guys? I'm kind of curious. Pretty decent. Yeah, got diamond within plat. That's kind of, I guess, reasonable for the split. So I think a lot of people have already kind of played a little bit, so this wasn't the exact start of the split, but a few days in, so I think people have ranked up a bit. Now, if we look at the positioning that they have, this is pretty good, but it's going to pull towards the south, and I guarantee, you know, if they keep making noise, another team is gonna pull up. So now the question you might be asking, what could have we done there differently? Well, we did get a little greedy once the fight was going, and we could have just rotated. Because the thing is that once the zone is closing, this happens a lot, especially at the higher tier lobbies, or even sometimes in the lower tier, where you notice that individuals will play a lot more. They wait for the third parties, essentially. And if you're the first to go in, then sometimes you're the first to be punished. And you just have to keep that in mind. You'll notice a lot of people will use poke weapons initially here. So what I should have done, I mean, I was closest to the Pathfinder there. I'm the one who should go for the res. Just remember, that's a really, really helpful tip. Go in the box, drop your armor for them, so then you have a higher chance. We still may not have gotten out of that alive, but when I say higher chance, it's better than nothing, right? Think of it that way. It's always better than nothing. We did the best we could, and there's something to be upset about that. I mean, if you look at the fight and say, hey, this was pretty good, don't beat yourself up over it, you know? This is a hard push for this team, by the way. They're most likely going to lose it unless they use Horizon Q to go up, which, there they go. Looks like they were doing the Horizon's by yourself, so this is a mistake that most individuals do. If you're going to push forward, make sure you're going to do it with all your teammates, because now what's happening here, you see how it's always isolating 1v1s and they're struggling? Now, the team up above dropped because they're confident on it, but it could cost them. I got the little bug there with the Volt. So now we got, I think, pretty much a 3v1. But if you're going to push, if you're going to comment, make sure the teammates are really close by for you to make the push. And don't make assumptions. You make assumptions, and look, now we got a duo squad versus a trio squad. The other squad should win it, because now they have also Horizon Q going forward. Then this wasn't a bad round. I don't even know if we went up points this round, per se. A good counter, and you'll probably saw them doing that there, a good counter to Horizon Q is to take the Horizon Q after her. So now they've reset. This isn't good. They're on the low ground. They might as well just go to zone. Pretty smart. They're already booking it. What rank are they? Okay, we got a Masters. They got a Masters during one of the harder splits, too. That makes sense. So their play is pretty smart. That's why I called. I was like, I wonder what rank they are. Because they're playing... Sorry, I tapped the mic there. I don't know if that's going to pick up. They were playing for the rotation because they knew that they were in an uphill battle and they didn't want to battle the zone and that enemy team. That's very, very important. I mean, look here. They have a disadvantage. He can use a Q to go for damage. Now, people always ask me, how do I play Horizon? When do I use your Q? You use your Q whenever you want to go up and do damage. Use it for a rotational tool if you know that you need to push forward, need to heal, need to do some damage, and then you'll have it again whenever you need to. This is a fantastic flank, by the way. Fortunately, I think they isolated him out. There's the whiffs. If he landed those shots, I think he might have gotten it. The Bloodhound was a little bit too far away, unfortunately. But it was a really smart, good effort if the Bloodhound was able to commit with it. Those things just happen, but I do commend the Horizon for trying to make a play, and they just cut it out. And the thing is, like, hey, was it smart? Now, if you ran into the situation, you're like, what could have I done better? Well, maybe waiting for the Bloodhound, practicing your shot, warming up, you know, all of those things. I didn't warm up going into this, and, well, my shot wasn't necessarily awful. It wasn't on point. But those things can help. Those things are very important in terms of trying to get into the flow and make progress and improve. Just record your stuff like we're kind of watching and doing here. My next episode, probably when I return, is going to be more of the recording series, which is what I have upcoming next. And then I'll get back into the full flow of content. I know I don't... Ooh, we got 75 points. Look at that. It's not bad. You see how, like, now the crawl is happening, right? Inevitably, if I play the same way, I'm going to go up no matter what and rank up, right? And this is whenever the split's a little harder. And that was me without warming up or anything and just kind of dumping into this and without having played in a hot minute, right? That's kind of the goal. If I can get all of you guys to realize your potential, what you guys can do during the series and see the flaws and see the benefits, then you're going to be better for it. And just play patient. Just do the best you guys can, and I promise you, you'll nut out results. Just be very big on how you, I guess you can say, self-reflect. Be harsh, but don't be too harsh. I feel like some individuals are a little, I've been noticing it in the Discord and also in the comment section about thinking you suck at the game. Sometimes be critical of your gameplay, but also be fair and think about what you're doing wrong and say, hey, let me work on that for a little bit. And the troublesome part is the matchmaking system in this game is incredibly aggressive. Wow, I got a pretty decent squad here. All right, let's go. Maybe we'll see how this one goes out. But it was interesting. It did pull to where I said it was going to pull. One person has a mic. I'm going to turn on the mic comms in just a second. But no matter what, I'll be right on top of them. I'm going to pass it to them, so make sure that we'll follow them. We'll follow their lead. We'll spectate, see how things are going, how the lobby's flowing. The last mistake I did was not paying attention to people were dropping. I didn't get to see the number of the drop ship. How many dropped? We got 1, 2, 3. Looks like we got 4 that way, and then 5. They're diverting. It looks like they're going to play it safe, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with playing it safe. We got 2 teams there, 1 team here. So we know that a winning team is going to have a lot of loot here. Now, the best tip is do not land on your team. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break off. We're pretty safe, but I'm going to catch up. I'm going to loot this. I got myself a pretty decent loadout. The reason I chose this building is I know on the floors, and people are asking, how do we know where loot is at? It's always pretty much going to be in a predetermined spot every time. See how, like, it's like, why did you know there was something there? It's like, well, it's always in a predetermined spot. So I'm not going to loot that back part, but now I'm going to come over this way, and I actually had some pretty decent loot. That building sometimes has some pretty good stuff, and there's always, like, the box over here around the Prowler pit, so I'm going to grab that and probably have some armor. But now, you see how I'm not splitting the loot, and I can use this to go fly across now. So I have that advantage for me. And then, boom. You can't tap strafe on these anymore, so that makes me sad. Now, if I get eliminated here, I looked at the feed, and the only person I saw closest was over here. It doesn't appear to be looted. I might loot a little aggressively. I got to play this safe so I don't get caught out, because if I do, then the only person I can blame is myself. Looks like they were here somewhere, so I'm going to back up. I'm not going to engage on that. I'm going to play that a little safe. Now, let's say they started shooting at me. You can use your tap strafe if you're on M and K. If you're on controller, don't run in a straight line. Try to use your angles. Try to cut geometry best you can. That's always probably one of my best tips. I'll probably switch to a light gun. I need a poke weapon here. And there we go. So now I got a little diversity here. And I'll just back up to my teammates. They're pretty close to each other. And there's still the full amount of squads left remaining. Pretty confident in my loadout right now. And I spread out the loot. You see the goal, spreading out the loot. Don't drop on your teammates, guys. I can't stress that enough. Yes, you want to do it at the start, but build some confidence within yourself and know that you can win your fight, okay? You can win your fight, and you're going to do just fine. Don't worry. You know, drop stuff for your teammates, ping stuff. I don't know if they need all this stuff. We'll just ping it. And then we can move up all together. Even if we lost, we'd say, okay, well, they came up the crest of the hill. What could we have done? Let's look at our utility. I can put a Watson gen down in just a little bit. I can throw some fences. And if they come to the crest of the hill, it just is what it is, as I said in prior in the series, right? So they opened this door, and I pinged this. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they skipped. It seemed like they were pretty fast at skipping the loot here. Skip to the loot, my darling. Wasn't that a nursery rhyme growing up? Alright, so let's look at the... I'm kind of confused here. I know I pinged that. They seem like they looted it pretty poor. Now, if you're a defensive legend, you notice how what I do, and do this even if you're offensive legend. That's the thing. Don't build good habits. You know, you go from corner to corner. You check your angles. You know, you're looking to see where they looted, where they didn't. Bottom part wasn't looted, so they look like they're in a pretty big hurry, possibly to third party. You kind of need a Sherlock Holmes, essentially. That's how you see good IGLs. Is they try to deduce what's happening. And sometimes the deductions that you make are for, I guess you can say, for intelligent plays. Okay, that's not good. Now, don't throw your game because he's kind of griefing his game, but I can cover him on the cross. And that's going to be my goal. I just got to cover him on the cross best I can. I'm going to back up to him as best I can here. Can I say best I can too many times? Oh my gosh. So I'm going to hold height here. Hopefully the Pathfinder runs. He needs to run. There's no way in heck I'm able to get in there in a timely fashion. I'm able to do some damage here. He dropped him, so I'm going to go on this. The other person's by themselves, but what I'm doing is I'm picking and choosing between mommy and daddy. Yes, because I have therapy issues. Nade it out.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I don't know how they dodged that. Now I could push, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get him to go. Yep, perfect. Oh, he dropped him. I wasn't paying attention. I'm a bad teammate. Pay attention to your kill feed, guys. Don't be dumb like me. Don't pull a Daz. Yes, the other armor had more, but I was armor swapping just to expedite this. Alright. Push forward. I can't believe I didn't see that. Well, happens whenever. Sometimes you have days, right? So I'm gonna bat. If I see him do any sort of damage, that's unfortunate for that Mad Maggie. Alright, I'm gonna work my way in. See how when I say work my way in from geometry to geometry? Now, this is a bit of aggressive push, so I'm gonna take height. See if they're still here. Might have backed up. Yeah, they did. But now at least I got the Pathfinder here. The Mad Maggie's running. We got him on the run. We got some plus KP here. Following my teammates. Being a good teammate. The Pathfinder's probably wondering, why do you throw that nade? This Watson doesn't know what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm screaming. GG's. Now, check your angles where teammates or enemies most likely going to appear. Try to move while you're healing. That's another tip. Bunny hop heal. It is beneficial if you're trying to keep up, trying to keep pace, trying not to fall behind. All of those things. I'm going to switch over to the Sentinel myself because I need a ranged weapon at least. I don't have any sights. It's okay. I'm pretty good with irons. Let's just switch that. There we go. I can rock the irons from the flatline. What do you guys think of the fact that they nerfed the flatline from the Battle Pass one? I know a lot of people like that skin. I liked it. I'm kind of sad that they kind of changed it. I'm not going to lie. Let's see here. What are we looking at? So there was a lot of teams here on Barometer, and that one seems like they were rotating from antenna. Oh, there they are. Very nice. There they are. Oh, that sucks. Okay, this is greedy that we're chasing, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. I don't have a lot of flesh shields. I gotta finish this guy. Oh, he died to zone. That's so unfortunate, man. Okay, we'll go to zone. Like I said, that's greedy, but hey, the Pathfinder has his mobility. I don't. And it looks like that team was dying to zone, and hopefully I trust that he's going to win his ones, you know? I can't really cook in the zone, though. I thought I heard something. Oh, they're flying. Ping over there so they're aware. Let's slide down and go this way. get some positioning. So if you have a question of how to rotate, you rotate where you believe that you're going to have the least level of resistance. I also heard, and I don't know if this is true, somebody else can confirm for me, that there is a bug where the bloom just gets astronomically insane. I think they're fighting. Try to maximize on this med kit. If they're fighting, then we can go this way. This is kind of a rough healing spot. Try not to do what I just did there. If they were looking at me, I'd be dead. Try to heal behind cover. I call out my mistakes as I do them. And trust me, you're going to make mistakes consistently, but as long as you're aware of it, then at least you know that, hey, nobody will fault you for being a bad player, right? Okay, that guy's got a medkit. I was going to drop him a Phoenix if he wasn't. I should have pinged a purple armor for him earlier as well. Let's just rotate. The Pathfinder seems like they got some distance on him. These were pretty good teammates. They occupy space. You know, we're keeping pace with each other. Even if the Pathfinder got into trouble, I noticed they'll grapple forward or grapple away. We knew where to gate, where to look. I wasn't too far behind. Looks like they want to engage on that. Teams are fighting on the left, so this is a good fight to take. That's also very smart in terms of what you want to do. It's not a bad thing to go on a fight if you know that the other team is fighting. Now, if they stop and you don't hear any more audio, then you kind of lose your opportunity. So the only thing you can do is just kind of skirt right by down the center, which is what we're doing right now. You got the team on the right and the team on the left. If everyone is distracted and the other team has to move forward, we really shouldn't be looked at unless there's a team here. And then sometimes what happens if we were to get shot here, we need to rotate probably over to, I see them going up there. I'm going to ping that for them so they're aware. You just have to keep doubling back, and at some point you're going to find... We have a Valkyrie, so we should be okay. Right on the other side. We'll be able to hard gate this. We got a lot of success here. I don't need a window shot very much. I need those syringes, actually. I'm going to go back for them just in case, because I don't really have a lot of flush healing. Probably a good idea. And I could have picked up more sniper, but I'm not necessarily bent out of shape about it. We'll just keep moving. Keep on moving. Keep on. Take her easy. Thinking of like the SNL skit now. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Will Ferrell on the SNL skit. My mind is all over the place recently. I don't know why I thought about that. Don't worry, I'll focus on giving more tips and everything. Just having a little fun. Alright, well, having height on this building is not a bad spot. This is always such a good rotation to do. It's just kind of split right between the action and then hold, because everyone has to run towards us. We're going to hold height. We could... not hold height and rotate. Yeah, well, let's just rotate. Good zone hitting. It's interesting. So here's also another reason, like, who do I follow? You might have noticed I naturally gravitated towards the Pathfinder, and that is because he is acting as entry, and I'm acting as support. The Valkyrie is too far behind, and they're just not making a lot of decisions. If you have somebody who's making decisions like this, go for it and follow them. Now, if his Pathfinder got him into trouble there, what is the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to abandon him, because that man just queued right into an enemy team. But I get what he's trying to do. The idea here is that, hey, there's probably not any teams here. Let's rotate. Let's get optimal positioning. That is game-winning spot over there. So did I ping that? No, he did. Wow. I got some stellar teammates today. Let's go. This is all from RNG. Maybe you're just getting blessed with good teammates because of... Sometimes you sometimes you need a break, guys. You know, sometimes you just need this, and I'm gonna be honest, I really need this right now. You know, just having some good teammates is just every once in a while a blessing. But if you don't have good teammates, just don't get mad. You never know what somebody's going through. You know, that people always ask me, how do I stay so calm, or even during the series, how do I maintain this? So there's a enemy team on the right. Perfect. Got to get positioning. Before you take shots, this is another mistake I see in ranked. People take shots in like open areas before they've garnered ground. Garner ground first, and then start taking shots. Because otherwise you're just showcasing a flawed, I don't know how to hold angles. I don't have movement or anything, you know? I think that's another team pushing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold here. Let's see, is he on the roof? Alright, I'm going to hold the roof. I'm going to be a little Psycho Watson here. But I got Jen. Oh man, right here. My recoil control is not good. I'm gonna shoot the other guys running in. Alright, there you go. That was better. Man, I'm a little rusty. Can I outsnipe Vantage? The answer is probably yes. She doesn't seem very confident. Oh, man, that sucks. We're kind of fighting for the low ground here. Ooh, let's go. Good spray. That Pathfinder should get that. I like that. That's very nice. You get the upper hand. This is time to push. If you get a dominant position, don't be shy, man. Don't be shy to take what's yours, you know? There it is. There's another team, though. Everyone's kind of fighting for a spot. Shoot. I need to go help the Valkyrie if I can. I think she dropped it. Nice, she did. So I'm just going to cover for her. Almost got him. She should be able to get that, but I'm still going to help. There it is. Hold. Now, if I have the most HP, it is my job to put pressure, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that's so important. Don't get scared. Don't play passive. If you have the most damage, or HP, I mean, I was hoping maybe they would shoot, but that's my bad. They should be able to, oh, another squad. Slide down. That was my bad, honestly. I kind of take blame for that. As a poor little Watson. Ooh, don't know. I'm crying. Okay, so let's assess what I did wrong there. Let's go back. I pushed out an open field and started shooting. If we both shot at them at the same time, I made a very dumb assumption that my teammate would shoot with me. I had more HP, so I felt really confident that I could win that. I didn't, and I kind of threw. That's my bad. I would have to apologize to my teammates for that. I kind of was vibing and kind of in a groove, and I just kind of thought like, hey, this is really working, you know? But listen, we all make mistakes. It happens. We got a lot of great KP, so do they. All they need is top 5. I'm not going to be upset if they can't get my banner. I'm just going to chill, and now we get to spectate. Listen, and sometimes if your mind just isn't in a right spot, you're more prone to make mistakes, okay? And that happens, like the Pathfinder trying to go for loot there. I mean, you can't expect yourself to always perform optimally. And another tip I provide is that if you realize that your just mind isn't in the right spot that day, don't try to force the game. Don't try to force it or anything. Just take a step back and enjoy what you can. Right? That's the best thing you can do. We did pretty good. It's not bad. Our Pathfinder was pretty on point, so I appreciate the fact my teammates are pretty solid. I should have just waited. Okay, so if I give the tip, what could we have done different? Reset and heal. Let everyone reset and heal, and I can just hold. There was no reason to necessarily push. If my teammate did shoot with me, then yes, but that was bad on my part for making the assumption, 1. And then 2, we had the upper hand. Why overextend too much? And there's a lot of people who tend to do that, and I fell into that trap right there, and I definitely feel a little guilty about it. And I mean, so sometimes you're just not thinking clearly. So what can you do to help yourself think clearly? Yoga is helpful. Breathing, eating healthy can be really good. Hitting the gym, maintaining a routine, stepping away when needed. A lot of those things. I mean, you're playing a very competitive game, and it just sometimes happens, you know, or you make mistakes, and you know, don't get upset with your teammates whenever, especially you're doing randoms. You're essentially playing the odds and like who you're going to get. They have game-winning spot, by the way. This team, they're in a really, really great spot right now. I should win that. You know, the plus side, look at the positives. We went up in both rounds already. And even with your teammates, hey, like, yeah, you could have gotten more points. But it's really hard to gauge your teammates. Sometimes you can make a guess, and sometimes the guess is wrong. You know, and it's better to play it safer than I did there. But those are just mistakes that you always learn from. I'm so used to always sometimes playing with a squad that sometimes playing with randoms I tend to just kind of forget, and those are okay. It's okay. It's just to make mistakes. I actually encourage people, that's another tip I can always give, is to make a lot of mistakes. The more mistakes that you make, the more you're going to learn. This team is doing it really well. They're just playing patient. They should have this. This is going to pull more in that like open field right there. So top 4. If you have a decent amount of KP, you don't necessarily need to push, especially when you know that this team is hunkered down here. This one is probably resetting, and there's probably another team elsewhere. If you instigated this team, what's going to happen? This team is going to third party. You push this team, what's going to happen? That team's going to try to third and shoot you from a distance. Kind of like these other teams that were just running up on each other one at a time. So don't make my mistake. Take it slow, wait, and you'll net out major returns from it. So they're communicating. They got one person on height, which is good. Both people are taking angles, so pretty solid, not too bad. Getting towards the end game here, and this is interesting. You know, I thought Stormpoint would probably towards the end zone have a lot more people kind of stuck in zone, but it kind of seems like it's like a miniature King's Canyon where everyone is just kind of rushing up and just kind of panicking because of the zone. These are really good shots. This person's holding back, which is not a bad thing because I think this is actually a rat. So as long as they play it patient, don't get aggressive, and don't. If one of them gets knocked, they're gonna end up getting thirded and lose. So they can't get too greedy on this. but just at least try to get him out. Oh no, if one of them goes down, that's kind of the throw right there, unfortunate. That's why it's always important to check your angles, and I think one of them had a digi. Should get him, and there we go. But the other team is now most likely going to show up. They have game-winning spot. They have to hunker down on height. Like, this is a great spot right here to kind of hold. This little, because you can kind of head glitch this. Right, so if you're wondering where do you hold, not right here on the right, not right here on the left, where this Bangalore is a really good spot. Unless somebody contests it and you just get shoved and there's not much you can do besides just holding it best that you can. So you gotta look at the left. So the downside is that somebody decided to start poking there, fighting for equal ground. This is where you want to put your pressure. So good on this Bangalore for holding this spot. But I appreciate you guys, by the way, for watching this, because this will probably be just wrapped up at the end here. I did call this probably where it would be a little hard if they were holding up there. But you just got to hold your angles and just play patiently. So that's good advice too, just to provide. If you know where you don't want a team to be, that's where you got to hold to make sure they don't. I call it's like shoving sheep. You're trying to like herd sheep into a certain direction. You want to shove them a best direction as you can. One thing this team is struggling with right now is also the reset. They haven't rezzed, which is fine because the Bangalore definitely got caught out of position, but a res is always going to be ideal to do. They don't have the resources to necessarily go for a res either. They don't have like a Gibby bubble or anything, which is important. They do have a seer ult, so they can stop it, but now they're at a massive disadvantage. They do got to check the right, because I guarantee that the seer might get shot in the back here in just a moment. Let's see if it happens. I'm actually kind of curious. Or the team above is going to shove, and then the other team's going to shove right behind them. Let's see, I think that's the enemy team right there. So that's what's going to happen. If they happen to knock one here, that might be it. But again, what I was going to say a second ago, I just want to appreciate you guys for being so patient with me today. There's been a lot going on. I might put in front of this video a note or two about stuff. I just know that I appreciate all of you guys for watching the series, for supporting the channel. The best thing I think right now is just to watch as much content on the channel. But I'm pretty sure I'll cover that in the intro, so I'll try not to divulge. So right now, they just have to wait for the other two teams to fight, and their best way to do is just to kind of get the teams to... I wonder if that's a rat. If you have his advantage here, then you'd be able to tell if it was a rat or not. Oh, there we go. There's the fight. Let's see here. Getting a little greedy, but I think they got the resources for it. Pretty positive. As long as they hold their angles, dropping bats. There you go. Drop bats for your teammates. Keep an eye. I think it's a rat. Is it a lifeline rat? He's got the G7 scout. And the other one had gold, so I don't think it's a rat. There they are. They're moving up. They're taking the height on them. It's going to pull like right in the center. And now they're just sandwiched. So you got to keep... Oh, no. That's unfortunate. This team had an uphill battle. Now the other team is just going to go for it. They have the advantage, and they should win. If they lose, I will be in utter shock if they lost this. They're wide swinging far. The Rise, you can use your Q to go up. It doesn't need to. They have this. Use the Q to dodge the Bangalore ult, but they won, so it's okay. It's a pretty good round. Interesting to see how Stormpoint is playing. That was my first time playing this rank set, and we went up RP. It wasn't too bad. Pretty straightforward. Pretty easy. I'm confident. I say easy because I'm confident you guys can do this, okay? Like, I really am. Like, even if you guys make a few mistakes, I hope that the series is very helpful. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm not really sure how the flow of this video is going to be. Hopefully, I did a pretty decent job. Thank you again so much for watching. Hopefully, there was a lot of good tips. This is episode, I believe, 11, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, everybody.